So last week we did some videos to learn all about aldehydes. This set of videos is all about ketones. So if you guys remember the difference between an aldehyde and a ketone, if this is an aldehyde with that double bond to oxygen on the end of a chain, all I have to do is add an extra couple carbons and now it's a ketone. Right, so we're going to have to be able to name ketones. We're going to have to do some reactions with ketones. We'll just do one step at a time, short videos again, to try and make it easy for you guys to unpack, digest. But first, we have the IUPAC names, right? If I have this ketone that I've drawn currently that has 6 carbons total, right, I'm just going to do the same things I always do. The parent name is hexane. So I'm going to start out with that base, but then drop the E and add an ONE for a ketone. So that AL ending was an aldehyde, ONE endings are ketones. This is a hexanone. Right? Now with the aldehydes, I never had to label with a number because it was always the same number. It was always a 1. But with ketones, obviously, I could have multiple different hexanones. This one is a 3-hexanone. Since that double bond is off of the 3rd carbon, I could also have a 2-hexanone. Where the double bond to oxygen would be off of off of a 2nd carbon, depending on which side you're going from. It's the same thing. So there are 2 different versions of that hexanone you have to label appropriately. So unless it's a very small ketone, right, the smallest ketone that we have would only have 3 carbons in it, because you have to have 3 carbons total to have 1 in the middle at all, right? I can't make that acid aldehyde. I can't put that double bond to oxygen anywhere else and make it a ketone. That's just, it has to be an aldehyde if there are 2 carbons or less. But as long as there are 3 carbons, I could have a propanone as drawn here. I do not need a number for propanone because there's only one possible place that double bond could be. Right, again, this example on the right with only 2 carbons can't possibly be a ketone. But if I add a couple more carbons, now it's a butanone, and that one doesn't really need a label either, because there's only one possibility. It's going to be the 2 carbon, whether you put that double bond oxygen off of this carbon here or that carbon there. So sometimes you need a number, sometimes you don't. You're probably safest to just use it all the time. So just go ahead and say that that's a 2-propanone, that this is a 2-butanones, but all propanones and butanones are 2s. Whereas I can have a 3-pentanone or a 2-pentanone. So just depends on how big the chain is, but since sometimes you need a number, you might want to just use it all the time. So those are our IUPAC rules for naming ketones. And that'll be it for this video.